Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Dr. Srinivas Medical Concepts and my FB page Dr. Srinivas Concepts. This is Dr. Srinivas, a neurologist from Andhra Pradesh, India. I am also the medical author of the book Focused Neurology. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, the PARC 3-step test. It is basically used to find out and pinpoint the muscle which is involved in hypertrophy, the vertical gaze. So let's see how we are going to proceed and then pinpoint the muscle. But before that, we need to understand the action of the individual muscles. Then only you can proceed further. So this is the right eye, this is the left eye. Right eye, left eye. These recti act best when they are abducted. So right superior rectus, right inferior rectus. The obliques act best when they are adducted. So right inferior oblique and right superior oblique. Here there is a catch. Though their name is right superior oblique, they pull the eye downwards because of the insertion in an oblique manner. So superior oblique will push the eye downwards, inferior oblique will pull the eye upwards, and these obliques act best when they are in an adducted position. Fine. Same thing applies to the left side eye also. We are not concerned about the medial recti and the lateral recti because they are used more for horizontal eye movements. Now we are concerned with only vertical eye movements. This PARC 3-step test is basically for finding out the muscle which is involved in the vertical movement disorder. Right. Now coming to hypertrophy. Hypertrophy, one eye up, the other eye down, but generally as convention we talk only about the muscle which is placed upwards. So when we say right hypertrophy, it indicates that the muscle to the right side is gone upwards, though the other side, the left eye, the eye might have gone downwards. So right hypertrophy means right eye upwards and left eye downwards. Hypertrophy usually indicates the eye which is placed in the upward position. Now, very interesting and fascinating is that how we are going to go step by step in these 3 steps systematically and find out which muscle is involved in the right hypertrophy. I have arbitrarily taken right hypertrophy. To understand this, let me take the example of right superior oblique palsy, and therefore it becomes easier to understand these 3 steps. Fine. Now let's go step by step. The first step is that which eye is hypertrophic. The first step is which eye is hypertrophic. So now imagine that there is hypertrophy in the right side. That means right eye is upwards and the left eye is downwards. So what are the muscles which are responsible for pushing the eye upwards and pulling the eye downwards? In other ways, if what muscles get affected, the eye goes upwards. If the eye has to go upwards in the right side, that means the inferiorly acting muscle, the muscles which push the eye inferiorly should get affected. So it is either the right inferior rectus or right superior oblique. So if these are depressed, if these are not acting, if they are inefficient, the eyes will go automatically upwards. So if the eye has gone upwards on the right side, that means either the right inferior rectus or right superior oblique is not acting. So right inferior rectus or right superior oblique. Or on the left side, if the eye is pushed inferiorly, that means the elevators are not acting efficiently. What are the elevators? Left inferior oblique and left superior rectus. So either left inferior rectus or left superior oblique. So these 4 muscles must have involved right inferior rectus or right superior oblique or left inferior oblique and left superior rectus. Fine. This is the first step. So in the first step, we are able to find out the 4 muscles involved. Now if we go further with 2 steps, we can pinpoint the muscle involved. The second step is that which gaze deviation this worsens. Which gaze deviation worsens. So we have taken right hypertrophy. So when I look to the left, if it is going to worsen, then means it is the right sided muscles which are involved. So when I look to the opposite direction, if it is going to worsen, then this side muscles are affected. So when I look to the left side, if it worsens, then either the right inferior rectus or right superior oblique has to get affected. So now from the 4 we have narrowed it down to 2. So right inferior rectus or right superior oblique should have got affected. Right. Now the third question is head tilt. If I turn the head, in which head tilt is the hypertrophic worst? So in which head tilt is the hypertrophic worst? So in the right head tilt, if it is going to worsen, then it has to be the right superior oblique. So if a person has got right head tilt and it worsens, it is because of the right superior oblique. What is the mechanism? It is because of the ocular tilt reaction or the vestibulo-ocular reflex or the counter roll mechanism. For example, if I tilt my head to the right side, to compensate for the head movement, vestibulo-ocular reflex, the counter roll, the right superior oblique has to intort. So when my head turns to the right, my eyes should intort to the left, and it is done by superior oblique. And therefore, if it is going to worsen, when I tilt my head to the right side, it is right superior oblique is weak. Then a very fascinating question and concept comes. Why should the eye go upwards? If the right superior oblique is weak, why should the right eye go upwards? You remember that the superiors are all intorters. So superior oblique is an intorter. Superior rectus is also intorter. So when the right superior oblique is not able to intort, now the right superior rectus comes into play so as to intort. So what are the actions of the superior rectus? Not only it intorts, its primary action is elevation. You remember? So when I tilt my head to right side and my right superior rectus is not able to intort, right superior rectus comes into action. It tries to intort, but its primary action is elevation. So when my right superior rectus gets affected, the right superior rectus elevates the eye, and therefore you get right hypertrophy. So fascinating concept. When the right superior oblique gets affected, since intorsion gets affected, right superior rectus comes to rescue because its secondary action is intort, but its primary action is elevation. So though it intorts, its primary action is elevation, so it elevates the eye. So in superior oblique palsy, right superior rectus comes into action. You can see the eye moving upwards. So this is the explanation for right hypertrophy. So finally we have narrowed it down to superior oblique palsy. But I've given so much of explanation, every time it becomes difficult. Is there any mnemonic to remember it easier? Yes, there is a wonderful mnemonic to remember it easier. Remember SOS. We always use the term SOS whenever necessary. But here we use SOS to remember the mnemonic for hypertrophy, the past 3-step rule. What is SOS? First you check out which side the hypertrophy is there. So in this case we are taking right superior oblique palsy. So right side there is hypertrophy. So same side there is hypertrophy. The first S for same side. The second is O. O is opposite gaze. So if the right superior oblique, in this case right superior oblique, worsens when I look to the opposite side, left side. So opposite gaze it worsens. So S is for same side, O is for opposite gaze. The third is the head tilt. If it is going to worsen with the head tilt on the same side, again it is going to be that superior oblique palsy. So same side head tilt. So easy to remember. The Park 3 test for right hypertrophy is that right hypertrophy, it is present on the same side, that is right side, 1S. It worsens with opposite gaze, O, in this case left side, so O is for opposite. It worsens with the same side head tilt, that is S. So SOS, if you remember, you can easily pin down and point out which muscle is involved, in this case right superior oblique palsy. Now comes the question, right hypertrophy, it could be because of right superior oblique palsy, but then it could be skew deviation also. The skew deviation, one eye goes up, the other eye goes down. So right hypertrophy, because of superior oblique palsy, may mimic a skew deviation. How can we differentiate right superior oblique palsy from skew deviation? Fine. There are two ways by which we can differentiate. One, a superior oblique palsy is usually a unilateral manifestation. Superior oblique palsy, because of fourth nerve palsy, is a unilateral manifestation, whereas skew deviation is a bilateral manifestation, clinical manifestation. Second, skew deviation is caused because of the utricular ocular pathway, ocular tilt reaction. So it gets worsened when the head is tilted either to one side or to the other side. So when the head is tilted, this reflex comes into effect, the utricular ocular pathway, and skew deviation is stimulated. But if you do not turn the head to either side and just lie plain in a supine position without turning the head, the skew deviation manifestation comes down, it improves. Whereas fourth nerve palsy, superior oblique palsy, does not improve with just lying down supine. Whereas skew deviation improves by lying without turning the head in either direction, just lying plainly in a supine position. So by these two methods, we can differentiate whether it's a superior oblique palsy or skew deviation. So such fantastic concepts, very interesting. A lot of mathematics is involved in this lecture. I found it very interesting, and I hope you have also found it very interesting. If you have liked this lecture, you can post your comments also. If you have any questions, I'm willing to answer your questions and respond to your comments. If you have liked it, kindly like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Srinivas Medical Concepts, and my FB page, Facebook page, Dr. Srinivas Concepts. Bye. Thank you.